to see my screen at all? Hopefully it is
Yes,
streaming to the right application and not
I can
some
see it.
random
I can see it.
bullshit. All right. How familiar are you with sniping in Highlander in general? I guess is where I will start.
Uh, honestly, so the deal is I play engineer, and engineer generally protects the sniper, right? So I know like some spots that sniper stands, but I also know like the role of sniper and uh winning the SVS and the pick class pretty much.
Okay. So this is where I get the chuckle on the inside a little bit. I don't know exactly why Brick suggested myself because him and I differ on very much on how we expect Sniper to play. I will full disclosure, I'm not much of a SVS bot sniper. I think that is a shitty way to play sniper in Highlander, and it severely limits your capacity to. Well, did you win the coin flip, or can you out aim the other sniper? It's kind of shallow.
Hmm.
But the general rule of thumb, from at least a SVS perspective, is do you know where the other sniper is and are you buffed? Those are the two, in my opinion, major aspects on whether or not you want to take an SVS. Um, because if you're just blind picking a sniper without a buff, I don't care who you are, you're going to get completely destroyed, right? And a lot of taking specific fights on sniper is focusing on when and how to take those fights so that you're in the best position to play your class essentially.
Hmm.
um I guess I will start off with rollouts for a product and kind of show you the three main kind of rollouts that I like to do, where you should be looking, excuse me, at each rollout, the good things and the bad things of the rollouts, and then we'll move to different stages of product. So normally for rollout, you kind of literally have the three options in front of you. You either go cliffside, flank, or main. If you are wanting to go either cliffside or main, not main, sorry, concrete, you need to call that early so that your soldier can give you at least one whip so you can get to both spots quick enough to actually be a benefit to mid. But if not, your normal rollout is just go down main, and then literally, this is your angle. Hello. Normally, what I do is I actually start scoping in about here and then peek. That way, I am not already in the full sight line and then trying to quick scope something. Body shots are your king, believe it or not. And typically, I'm looking at just here, and I'm looking for three classes in particular. Normally, you'll get a demo man jumping around here. Scout would simply, you'll see about here. And sniper, if they're playing this porch angle aggressively, you might be able to see their head as well. You'll start to see it if they're more up here, not so much back here. The good thing about this is you're looking at where a lot of their enemy combo will try and rotate to, because they'll split between playing on concrete side or dog bread side. So you'll be able to catch that rotation very well, and sometimes the med will also pop up there. But you only want to be here for maybe two shots at most before you want to rotate either pocket side or if you're winning mid, more rock side. Some things to look out for when you're playing here is sure it's great at looking at this lane, but you are a literal soldier bait. If the soldier does a pride jump and lands on cliff, you're just dead. There's nothing you can do. Unless, of course, the soldier misses his rockets, in which case, you get to live another day. But you can't expect your pyro or even your combo really to protect you on mid when you're playing back here, because they'll be all in front up here, right? You also have no control over concrete side or this side of the point, and you have no control over their cliff. But it's the standard rollout. Most snipers, 9 times out of 10, when they're rolling out on product, they'll land here. The variations of this rollout is, instead of peeking porch, you swing around and you slow peek China. It can work. I don't like this angle as much because you're a lot more delayed to mid, and you're even more isolated from your team. So if a soldier does try to come up onto you, your team is even less of a help to you. And you really shouldn't be expecting your engineer to also come up to China to protect you on mid. As you know, as engineer, you have way better things to be doing on mid than just babysitting your sniper on China.
I just put the gun on. I just put the gun on cliff, or if we're up, then I just put the gun on mid.
Well, you got a lot of things to do. You know, you got to throw your teleporter either here or in house. Then you got to, throw your dispenser down, your mini down, hopefully for the soldier. But you have a lot of shit to do on mid as engineer. You can't be wasting that sitting on cliff just like, yep, this is my life. So I wouldn't expect my engineer to go there. So know that if you are doing the China rollout, like, yes, call it to your team so they know where you're playing, but don't expect to have active protection there. The other rollouts, if I am going flank side, I still roll out main, but I ask for my whip here. And so I just cross with my heavy, and then I play this angle. What I'm looking at for this angle, I don't full peek up here. Same thing, I start my peak low, and then I'm typically looking here. The reason is one, if a sniper is going cliffside, this is where you're going to see him, right here. And then if once I've checked this and cleared that it isn't sniper isn't there, then I start, clearing my other angles and worrying about where everything else is. But typically on mid, you should always be clearing your sniper spot first and then, checking your other areas. This is a good mix-up mid, or if you know the enemy likes to roll out their heavy on cliff quite a bit, because you'll just get the free heavy pick every mid if you do this. Heavies tend to roll out more on concrete as the meta has developed a little bit, so you won't get as much value as you used to from this angle. But you do have a lot more protection here than, say, China, or even Porch to a degree. Because if your heavy's rolling out concrete, which he should, you'll have him protecting you. You'll have your soldier is typically either on Seagull spot or about to bomb, either or. And kind of like your engineer can actually help you and support you a little bit easier on concrete. I still wouldn't expect him to babysit you on mid, but if, you call a spy decloaking on you, it's a little bit easier for your team overall to react. You just have to be a little bit more cognizant of the fact that you're now going to be dealing with scout in your face and potentially heavy. As well as the soldier, if their soldier wants to walk through connector.
Appreciate it.
And I guess I'll show you the last rollout. If I'm doing a cliffside rollout, I don't even go through main. I just call it early, so I get my one whip. I don't like this rollout as much because you're really, really isolated, but it's a good mix-up. Typically, again, same thing. So you start your peak. You're looking here first. This is where demo men's typically going to be playing, in and around here. And then concrete, and then aggressive concrete. Majority of sniper is just knowing where your crosshair is supposed to be in relation to other players, right? Because if you can have your crosshair already where a head is going to be in theory, it's a lot easier for you to make that micro adjustment rather than, peeking like this and then having to flick down to seeing the person. It's all about setting yourself up for success. And then if if you're going cliffside, you can either peek here or take a little bit longer and peek here. It's your choice. Similar issues for playing China mid. You're just kind of going to get rolled by soldier if soldier wants to come cliff. Ideally, if you're playing full cliff mid, I would actually request that my heavy plays cliff with me. But again, Your mileage is going to vary on that. I personally think it's a waste of having heavy here, but to each their own. Alright, so let's say that we won the mid fight. Look at us. Our team is gaming. We got the gamers. We're pretty comfortable where we're standing. I will rotate either to playing pocket and kind of peeking this angle, or here, here, here. Or if my team is a little more aggressive, I'll play on rock, like a base of cliff, porch, you know, China, main, concrete. You are very reliant on getting good comms on where the enemy combo is playing. So if you know the enemy combo is base of cliff, you should probably be limiting to what you're being peaked at and looking at base of cliff. So right here, I can only be peaked at from 2 spots. Either China or cliff, technically porch and main, but you can kind of cover these areas pretty efficiently. I'm not going to be peaked from here. But if I stand a little bit farther back and try and take the same angle, now I can be peaked from concrete for free and I die. So you have to be a little bit aware of exactly where you stand, so you're limiting your variables. Likewise, if they're concrete side, you have to shimmy your ass all the way over here so you can look at these 2 angles. If they're concrete side or even main, I personally wouldn't play on rock because there's 2 lovely gimmick angles that you will not be able to see from playing rock. I will briefly show you what those are. You can stand on these crates and you can have a lovely angle of the enemy rock. So if a sniper of heavy is playing here, this is just a free, fully body charged shot. That's not typical for other snipers to check, and it's mostly free. And then you have the back of grass angle, same thing. That's why I typically don't like playing on rock unless I know exactly where the enemy team is. If I'm wanting to play against main, I will typically actually just play here on concrete. But again, gotta know where people are so you know whether or not someone's rotating there. If your spy is not getting any good picks as a sniper player, I would be suggesting that he just plays comm spy. Having your spy alive just to tell you where the enemy sniper is or where the enemy combo is going to help you so much, because you'll know where to rotate, where to expect the angle from, and when to take that buff. Because if a sniper isn't up or a sniper is dead and alone, you can kind of be wherever the fuck you want within reason and still, you know, play the game properly. But outside of that, you know, you have crates for looking at base of cliff, beside crates for looking at main, and or on point. More and more teams are playing around Dogbred and point again, so you can play up here and play the funny, stupid angles. If your team is forward holding, you do have my favorite angle that I started doing, and then I noticed a lot of people also started doing. You can stand on the sledge and literally just look into main. A lot of the teams will default to rolling out main when they wipe or just in general. And if you hold the angle properly, like don't shoot the first thing that you see coming through here. If you wait, most players, they won't clear you in a lower div, so their med will just walk right into your sight line. So if you see the beams connected to something, just wait and let the med come through your crosshairs.
But if there is, like, if you don't see a beam, then just don't.
Just take the shot.
Okay.
Because you'll see if the med is healing that person. Again, you'll that's something that you'll come with practice and just more and more game sense. But that's my favorite aggro angle. You have the even more aggro angle, you know, holding grass. You'll be playing in main, correct? Or
Like first sniper, I don't know. For NG, I'm just subbing this season.
Okay.
I'm taking this season to kind of learn a new class, so.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, that's kind of how you play sniper when people are, you know, when your team is winning. Things to be aware of is just spy time. Most spies, they kind of run on a clock. So when they same thing as engineer, right? When you're playing engineer, you just have to have a slight awareness of when spy is going to be on you, so you can be aware of, okay, I can't play away from my team. I have to be with my team. And realistically, there are going to be times where you know a spy is on you, but you can't uncloak because you have to hold this angle, and you're gonna die for it. But again, sometimes you just have to hold that angle. But that's just communication that you have to do with your team to ensure that, one, they know that you're not going to be turning away from a spy, and two, that they know exactly where you're playing so that they can properly support you. When you're trying to re-get to the point, typically teams are going to hover behind house here. Your main angle is honestly going to be porch, or, you know, just underneath porch. You can play China, of course, but again, you're spy bait, so use it sparingly. Same with Pixel. Your spy bait up here, but they're good off angles. Like, this is pretty good for looking down main, you know, dealing with crates. But again, your spy bait up here, so you gotta be careful. Normally, when you're trying to get rid of an enemy having point, what you're going to do is wait for your demo to call that they're about to walk and dry fight. You're going to want to charge up the shot at whatever lane that he's going down and peek as he's walking up. Whenever possible, when you're trying to take point, you want to be in... won't be working in pair with your demo man and your combo, so that you're not peeking alone, and that you're actually able to get that initial shot and potentially get a pick. Because when you peek alone, their entire combo just gets to look at you and you just suffer and die. But again, normally, you know, start your walk here. I always, you know, clear your dog bread once you're fully charged. And then I'm, you know, peeking. And again, you should know that sniper's probably going to rock here or here. In this case, I'm obviously, like, combo pick is your key, like a demo, med, pyro, sniper. Those are your main picks. But when you're trying to do that dry fight, when you have the fully charged body shot, any pick's a pick, because you're just getting that initial frag in your team's favor so that you can win the DM fight. And then, you know, it's once you cross that threshold, same as a mid fight, right? You take a shot from porch, you move up, try and move up the pocket, take different angles. Typically, whenever you fire, depending on what div you are, will kind of dictate how often you have to rotate. So in higher divs, you'll take like 1 or 2 shots in pocket, and then you'll rotate the rock. Take 1 or 2 shots, rotate back to pocket. You'll just be constantly rotating the entire game after you take a couple of shots. And again, like mid, you have that variation. If you don't want to take, you know, your shot on porch here, when your demo is walking, you know, take your shot on China. If you know a sack wave is coming, and say you own the point, if spy is down, you can just decide that you want to rotate to China. Man, that's basically product in a nutshell. For defeating forward holds, you're essentially just going to go wherever the fuck your combo wants to go. Hopefully they want to go main, so that, you know, you can clear this angle, clear this angle, clear this angle. And then, you know, hopefully there's not a spot or heavy sitting here. Hey, any questions for product?
I don't think so.
Okay. Only other thing I can't iterate enough is when you know where sniper is. So say, you know, he's on rock or he is concrete. Always get a buff, a full buff from your med before you take the SVS. And ideally, you should always have your crosshair roughly where you think he is already. So you're minimizing how much movement, and you don't really want to quick scope him. Quick scoping is bad. It works great in like IM low main, but when snipers start getting actual proper buffs and you can't second scope your way out of every SVS, fully charged headshots are kind of how you want to play it. And just learning your crosshair placement is just going to be the hardest thing for a new sniper.
Oh yeah, by the way, typically, how do you deal with heavies normally? Like, do you wait to fully charge, or like, especially I know on a fully buffed heavy, you just wait to fully charge, but like on a normal healthy heavy, like 300 HP,
So
how do you generally wait for that?
I'm going to preface this by saying that heavy is the hardest target to hit. Don't at me.
I 100% agree with you.
I have a couple of different strains of thought on that, right? So it depends on what's happening. If the heavy is purely playing a passive angle, waiting for post to happen, then fuck yeah, I will fully charge that shot and kill him. But if he's actively fighting, so say he's not in this, really passive concrete angle, and now he's actually, playing up here, then yeah, I will do quick shots. I will do the 150 headshot after 150 headshot, assuming I can hit it.
Okay.
Because when he's actively fighting other players, he's probably not going to be fully buffed. And that initial 150 damage spike that you do to him might be enough to let your scout win the 1v1 or your soldier win your 1v1, that 1v1 or the spy. And it also puts a lot more pressure on him because now that he's at 270 or 200 HP, he can't really play as aggressive because he's fat. He has to go back and hide. Or distract their medic by demanding arrows. So it really depends. If he's an active participant in a fight, then fuck yeah, I will shoot 150 at him. It's free damage. A lot of the times, if I know where the heavy is sitting, I will use the heavy as my initial pick for my team fights. Because heavy is extremely strong for post fight. So I know heavy's on Cliff. I will start off by, or not, Cliff, I will start off by just fully charging this and then dealing with him. Or on rock. And then the team will push. If you are noticing that you are struggling a lot with the SVS, here's my hot take of the century. Just don't take the SVS.
Yeah.
This is where, again, Brick and I will differ vastly on how we handle sniper scenarios. I think it's a waste of your time if you're constantly losing the SVS, so shoot demo instead. My playstyle is a lot more closer to Space Ghost Coffee's, where he goes for consistent combo picks and not so much the flashy SVS. Because, sure, the sniper is still alive, but the enemy team's not going to push if they're demo, heavy, med, or dead, right? They can't do anything without a demo and highlight.
That's a common thing I tend to notice. It's just like, nobody really likes to push whenever demo or med dead.
Yeah.
Heck, there was one team that I played on where they wouldn't push when heavy was dead.
Yep, and that's a common theme. Like even in advance, teams are very hesitant to try and dry fight without a demo. Unless, of course, their sniper gets 5 picks, in which case, GG go next. But yeah, like whenever I'd play against Brick, I would ignore his sniper completely, and I would just shoot Brick over and over again. Because again, you can't do anything without your main caller. 9 times out of 10 anyways. Now, if I know the other sniper isn't as good as some of the others that I've faced and I'm comfortable taking the SVS, then yeah, I will take the SVS. I will destroy the sniper if I can. But you also gotta know what your limits are and what you're able of doing. Because at the end of the day, just you being alive puts more pressure on the enemy than if you're risking your life for every SVS. Because just the threat of you playing rock looking down main makes this push a lot less safe for the enemy team. Even if, you know, you're ignoring the sniper that's, say, playing concrete right now. You're just staring at this. Who the fuck cares? He's doing nothing over there. He's just waiting for you to peek him. He's wasting his time. But that's something that you'll learn kind of as you play sniper and as you figure out what you can and, well, can't do. And what you can get away with. I have to give some gimmick spots. I like this gimmick angle. It's funny. It's good for connector if heavy's trying to play aggressive on your concrete. You have this one. I'm not too fond of it, a sniper, like on the metal sheet there. And there's one more that I liked that I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Variation on base of cliff. You can stand up here. Oh yeah, and I guess don't knock the base of cliff sightline. You're a little isolated from your team, but it still gets the job done. Like, because your team is going to be playing here, so they can't really support you if Spy jumps on you. But they can still kind of support you, just not as effectively. Yeah, I think that's product, unless, of course, you have any other questions for product.
Nope.
Alright, well, I guess we'll move on to Upward.